Have you ever noticed how life's rules seem to change as we grow older? Imagine sitting with a wise elder, perhaps a grandparent or a mentor, who shares their reflections on how their priorities and perspectives have shifted over time. One such individual, let's call her Aunt May, recalls a time in her 40s when she believed success was measured by wealth and status. Now in her 70s, she chuckles at the irony of how little those things truly matter. You learn, she says, that life is less about what you own and more about how you live. This anecdote introduces a profound truth about aging. The rules we once followed may no longer serve us as we cross into new phases of life. This video explores 6 common life rules that often lose their effectiveness after 55 and offers wisdom rooted in Buddhist mindfulness to adapt to these changes. As we age, change becomes an inevitable companion. Yet, embracing change rather than resisting it can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence, or anicca, teaches us that all things are transient. This understanding helps us navigate the shifts in our priorities, relationships, and sense of self that come with age. Change is a constant, but our ability to adapt becomes increasingly vital as we grow older. After 55, life often presents a unique set of challenges: retirement, shifts in physical health, and evolving family dynamics. These transitions require not only practical adjustments, but also a deeper mental and emotional resilience. Adapting to change doesn't mean abandoning who we are. It means refining our approach to align with our present realities. Take, for example, the rule of striving for perfection. In our younger years, we're often driven to prove ourselves, whether in our careers, social circles, or personal pursuits. Perfection might seem like the ideal goal. However, as we age, clinging to this rule can lead to unnecessary stress and dissatisfaction. Buddhist mindfulness encourages us to practice non-attachment, to let go of unrealistic expectations and instead focus on the present moment. By doing so, we learn to appreciate our efforts and accept outcomes as they are. Similarly, the notion of putting others before ourselves, while noble, can become detrimental if it's not balanced. After years of caregiving, for children, partners, or aging parents, many find themselves depleted. Buddhist teachings on self-compassion remind us that nurturing our own well-being is not selfish but essential. By caring for ourselves, we cultivate the strength needed to support others without losing our sense of self. Another outdated rule is the belief that success is defined by external achievements. After 55, many discover that inner peace holds far greater value than accolades or possessions. Buddhist mindfulness helps us shift our focus inward, guiding us to find contentment in simplicity and gratitude. Adapting to life's changes requires not only practical adjustments, but also a shift in mindset. By embracing impermanence and practicing mindfulness, we can navigate the evolving landscape of life after 55 with grace and wisdom. These lessons, rooted in Buddhist teachings, invite us to let go of rigid rules and embrace a more fluid, fulfilling way of living. Rule 1: work hard and you'll always succeed. Why it stops working? The adage, work hard and you'll always succeed, is deeply embedded in many cultures, often serving as a cornerstone of motivation and perseverance. While its essence encourages diligence and resilience, the rule's reliability can wane over time due to various factors. 1. Changes in physical and mental capacities. As individuals age, their physical and mental abilities naturally evolve. Tasks that once felt manageable may become overwhelming. This is not a failure of character or effort, but a reflection of human limitations. A construction worker who once thrived on long hours and heavy labor might face declining strength or health, impacting their ability to sustain the same workload. Similarly, cognitive functions can shift over time, making mental tasks more challenging for those who previously excelled in intellectually demanding roles. Number 2, retirement or career transitions bring new challenges. Major life changes, such as retirement or switching careers, often necessitate a reevaluation of what success means. A person transitioning from a high-powered corporate job to a slower-paced lifestyle may struggle to reconcile their sense of identity and accomplishment. The hard work they invested in climbing the corporate ladder might not directly translate to their new pursuits, leading to feelings of disorientation or inadequacy. 3. External factors beyond control. Hard work alone cannot counteract systemic barriers, economic shifts, or unpredictable life events. A dedicated entrepreneur might see their business falter due to a sudden market downturn. Likewise, an aspiring artist might toil endlessly, but struggle to gain recognition in an oversaturated field. These examples highlight that success is often influenced by factors beyond individual effort. Buddhism offers profound wisdom on the concept of effort through the principle of sama vyayama, or right effort. Unlike the relentless push often associated with the work hard mantra, right effort emphasizes balance and mindfulness. 1. What is right effort? Right effort is one of the steps in the Noble Eightfold Path, focusing on cultivating wholesome mental states and abandoning unwholesome ones. It encourages individuals to prevent negative thoughts or emotions from arising, overcome existing negative states, develop positive qualities such as kindness and compassion, sustain and enhance those positive qualities. This approach underscores that effort should be purposeful and aligned with one's values, rather than driven by blind ambition. 2. Balancing ambition and well-being. Buddhism warns against extremes. Neither indulgence nor harsh asceticism leads to enlightenment. Similarly, in the modern context, balancing ambition with well-being involves recognizing when to push forward and when to step back. Overworking to the point of burnout is counterproductive and misaligned with right effort, which values sustainable progress. 3. Detachment from outcomes. Buddhist teachings also stress the importance of detaching from results. While effort is necessary, clinging to specific outcomes can lead to suffering. By focusing on the process and remaining open to various possibilities, individuals can find peace regardless of the results of their labor. Consider the story of Min, a middle-aged woman who dedicated decades to her career as a teacher. Min's days were filled with lesson planning, grading, and mentoring students. She thrived on the sense of purpose her work provided, but rarely took time for herself. Upon retiring, Min initially felt lost. The structure and recognition she once enjoyed were gone, and she questioned her value without the identity of teacher. One day, her daughter suggested they start a small garden together. Min reluctantly agreed, unsure how planting seeds could compare to the satisfaction of shaping young minds. To her surprise, gardening brought an unexpected sense of joy. Watching flowers bloom and vegetables grow taught her patience and mindfulness. She realized that her worth was not solely tied to her professional achievements. By slowing down and embracing this new chapter, Min discovered a different kind of fulfillment, one rooted in simplicity and connection. Advice: finding purpose beyond traditional success. 1. Shift your definition of success. Success is not a fixed concept. While it may initially revolve around career achievements, it can evolve to include personal growth, relationships, and community impact. Reflect on what truly matters to you and allow your definition of success to adapt accordingly. 2. Focus on meaningful contributions. Rather than striving for external validation, channel your efforts into actions that align with your values. Whether it's mentoring younger colleagues, volunteering, or pursuing a creative passion, meaningful contributions can bring lasting satisfaction. 3. Embrace rest and reflection. Rest is not a sign of weakness, but a vital part of sustainable effort. Allow yourself time to recharge and reflect. This practice not only preserves your energy, but also fosters clarity and creativity. 4. Cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness helps anchor you in the present moment, reducing stress and enhancing your appreciation for life's small joys. Techniques like meditation, deep breathing, or simply paying attention to your surroundings can support this practice. 5. Seek community and connection. Humans are inherently social beings. Building and nurturing relationships can provide a sense of belonging and purpose that transcends individual accomplishments. Engage with others who share your interests or values, and don't hesitate to seek support when needed. The rule, work hard and you'll always succeed, offers valuable encouragement, but fails to account for life's complexities. As physical and mental capacities change and as external circumstances evolve, it's essential to adapt your approach to effort and success. Drawing on Buddhist principles, embracing emotional growth, and focusing on meaningful contributions can help you navigate these transitions with grace. Ultimately, success lies not in relentless striving, but in finding balance, purpose, and joy in the journey. Rule 2. Always put others first. Why it stops working. The idea of always putting others first is deeply ingrained in many cultures and belief systems. It stems from virtues like altruism, generosity, and kindness. While this rule can foster harmonious relationships and build a sense of community, it has inherent flaws that over time may render it counterproductive. Neglecting oneself for the sake of others often leads to significant emotional, mental, and physical repercussions. Constantly prioritizing others' needs over your own can drain your energy reserves. This self neglect often manifests as emotional exhaustion, resentment, or even physical illness. Imagine a caregiver who tirelessly looks after their family, neglecting their own health. Over time, they become so depleted that they can no longer provide the support their loved ones need. The principle of helping others loses its purpose when it leaves you too weak to be of service. When you always put others first, it can unintentionally create unhealthy dynamics. People may begin to rely on you excessively, expecting you to solve their problems or meet their needs without reciprocation. Over time, this can lead to feelings of being undervalued and used. Moreover, those you help may struggle to develop independence and resilience, perpetuating a cycle of dependency that benefits neither party. Buddhism offers profound wisdom on the importance of balance and self-compassion. The concept of metta, loving kindness, teaches us to extend compassion not only to others, but also to ourselves. Buddha's teachings emphasize that self-care is not selfish, but rather a necessary foundation for genuinely helping others. The analogy often used is that of a lamp. To light others' paths, the lamp must itself remain lit. In the Buddhist framework, excessive self-sacrifice is seen as a form of attachment, an attachment to the idea of being the savior or the provider. This attachment can lead to suffering for both the giver and the receiver. By practicing mindfulness and awareness, one can recognize when to step back and nurture oneself. Striking a balance between serving others and preserving one's well-being ensures sustainable kindness. Consider the story of Maria, a devoted nurse who worked tirelessly for years in a busy hospital. Maria was the epitome of selflessness, always covering shifts for her colleagues and staying late to comfort patients. However, she began to notice that her joy and enthusiasm for her work were fading. She constantly felt exhausted, and her personal life suffered as she had no energy left for her family or hobbies. One day, a mentor gently reminded Maria of the importance of self-care. "You can't pour from an empty cup," her mentor said. Maria began to reevaluate her priorities. She started small, setting aside an hour each day to relax and picking up yoga to manage stress. To her surprise, as she focused more on her well-being, she found herself better able to connect with her patients and colleagues. By learning to prioritize herself, Maria regained her sense of purpose and joy. Advice 1. Create boundaries. Clearly define your limits. Let others know what you can and cannot do, and don't feel guilty about saying no when necessary. For instance, if you're overcommitted at work, it's okay to delegate tasks or politely decline additional responsibilities. 2. Practice mindfulness. Take time to check in with yourself. Mindfulness practices like meditation or journaling can help you identify when you're feeling overwhelmed or depleted. Awareness is the first step to making healthier choices. 3. Balance giving with receiving. Ensure that your relationships involve mutual support. It's okay to ask for help when you need it. Remember, giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin in meaningful connections. 4. Prioritize self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you extend to others. Celebrate your achievements and forgive yourself for your mistakes. 5. Engage in restorative activities. Regularly engage in activities that replenish your energy and joy, whether it's reading, gardening, or spending time with loved ones. These moments of self-nurturing can rejuvenate your spirit and make you a better support for others. While always put others first may seem noble, it's not sustainable in the long run. Neglecting self-care not only harms you, but also diminishes the quality of support you can offer to others. By embracing self-compassion and creating a balance between giving and receiving, you ensure that your kindness is both genuine and enduring. As the saying goes, you can only give your best to others when you are at your best yourself. Rule 3. Save everything for the future. Why it stops working? As we age, our perspectives naturally shift. The wisdom of saving for the future often starts as a responsible strategy for security and preparedness. However, as the years pass, the emphasis on saving can morph into a barrier to truly living. While the mantra of saving resonates strongly in youth and middle age, when time seems abundant, it can become a limiting belief in later years where time is the most precious currency. One of the critical reasons this rule stops working is that excessive saving fosters a mindset of deferred living. The relentless pursuit of security can prevent us from enjoying the present. The narrative of "I'll enjoy life when I have enough saved" often turns into "I can't touch my savings because I might need it later." The result? A life spent accumulating instead of experiencing. Furthermore, saving too much can inadvertently create unnecessary risks. Hoarding resources, whether money, possessions, or time, can foster anxiety. Instead of enjoying the fruits of one's labor, the fear of losing what has been saved can dominate thoughts and behaviors. Living too cautiously while ensuring safety might also stifle opportunities for joy, spontaneity, and connection. For instance, consider the story of a retiree who spent decades amassing wealth only to find their health declining and their ability to enjoy that wealth greatly diminished. The years spent denying small pleasures for an imagined future ultimately left them feeling regretful. They had saved for someday, but someday never came in the way they envisioned. The Buddhist teaching of sati, or mindfulness, provides a profound counterbalance to the save everything mentality. Sati emphasizes the importance of being fully present in the moment, cultivating awareness of what is happening here and now without clinging to the past or grasping for the future. Buddhism teaches that life unfolds in the present moment, the only reality we truly possess. By anchoring our awareness in the now, we can find joy and contentment, irrespective of external circumstances. While planning and preparation are essential, they should not overshadow the practice of mindfulness. A life overly focused on tomorrow may miss the beauty of today. One Buddhist parable highlights this lesson succinctly. A traveler encounters a wild tiger while walking through the forest. Fleeing, they slip over a cliff and cling to a vine. Above them, the tiger growls. Below, sharp rocks await. In that precarious moment, the traveler notices a ripe strawberry growing nearby. Instead of succumbing to fear, they pluck the strawberry and savor its sweetness. This story reminds us to find and embrace the joys available to us, even amid uncertainty. Take, for example, the journey of May, a successful businesswoman who had always lived by the save everything for the future rule. Her life was meticulously planned, with each decision carefully calibrated to maximize financial stability. She skipped vacations, avoided indulgences, and deferred her dreams of learning to paint, always reasoning that there will be time later. In her late 50s, May faced a wake-up call when a close friend unexpectedly passed away. The loss struck a deep chord, forcing her to confront her own mortality. May realized that she had been living a life of postponement, banking on a future that was never guaranteed. Determined to change, May began small. She bought a set of watercolor paints and started taking weekend classes. She booked her first trip abroad, allowing herself to marvel at the wonders of the world she had long admired from afar. For the first time, May experienced the joy of living in the moment. The shift didn't diminish her sense of responsibility. Rather, it brought balance. May still saved for the future, but she no longer let that future overshadow her present. Her transformation is a poignant reminder that embracing the present moment can lead to a fuller, richer life. May discovered that small pleasures, a morning coffee savored in peace, laughter shared with friends, the exhilaration of trying something new, offered profound fulfillment. By giving herself permission to enjoy the present, she learned that true wealth is not measured by what we save, but by the moments we fully live. To strike a balance between saving for the future and embracing the present, consider these practical steps. 1. Cultivate gratitude. Start or end each day by reflecting on things you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts focus from what you lack to what you have, fostering contentment in the present moment. 2. Prioritize experiences over accumulation. Instead of saving solely for material possessions or financial growth, allocate resources toward experiences that bring joy and create lasting memories. 3. Set now goals. Create a list of things you've always wanted to do, no matter how small. Choose one to act on immediately, whether it's taking a dance class, reading a new book, or exploring a nearby park. 4. Embrace mindful spending. Recognize that money is a tool to enhance life, not just a safety net. Spend thoughtfully, investing in what truly matters to you. 5. Schedule unproductive time. Dedicate moments in your day to simply enjoy life. Watch the sunset, take a leisurely walk, or share a meal with loved ones. These seemingly unproductive moments often hold the greatest value. 6. Let go of perfection. Understand that no amount of saving will eliminate all uncertainty. Embrace life's impermanence and allow that awareness to deepen your appreciation for the present. 7. Reflect regularly. Periodically reassess your goals and priorities. Are you balancing preparation for the future with enjoyment of the present? If not, adjust your focus to align with what truly matters. The rule of save everything for the future originates from a place of wisdom, but it requires nuance and adaptation as life unfolds. By understanding why it stops working, drawing inspiration from Buddhist teachings, and embracing a balanced approach, we can ensure that saving doesn't come at the expense of living. Life's greatest treasures often lie in the moments we experience, not in the resources we hoard. By practicing gratitude, savoring small pleasures, and living with mindful intention, we can create a life that honors both the future and the present. Remember, the strawberry is there to be enjoyed, even when the tiger and the rocks remind us of life's uncertainties. Rule 4. Stay busy all the time. Stay busy all the time is a mantra that resonates with the fast-paced world we live in today. For many, it's a badge of honor to juggle endless commitments, a sign of productivity and purpose. However, as with any rule, its effectiveness has limitations. Understanding why this rule stops working, integrating timeless wisdom, and embracing a balanced approach can lead to a more fulfilling life. Why it stops working. At first glance, staying busy seems like a surefire way to achieve success. It keeps the mind occupied, minimizes procrastination, and fosters a sense of accomplishment. Yet over time, relentless busyness often reveals its flaws. Overcommitting to tasks, projects, responsibilities may lead to physical and mental exhaustion. Burnout, a condition characterized by chronic stress, leaves individuals feeling drained, detached, and unable to function effectively. Studies have shown that constantly staying busy can deplete the brain's ability to focus, impair decision-making, and reduce creativity. Beyond the physical toll, the psychological impact of never-ending busyness can be profound. Individuals may lose touch with their deeper goals and values, becoming trapped in a cycle of doing without purpose. Instead of feeling accomplished, they may experience dissatisfaction and even anxiety about their relentless schedules. As we age, the need for stillness becomes more apparent. Life's complexities and responsibilities often shift priorities, highlighting the importance of reflection and presence. Stillness offers an opportunity to process emotions, recalibrate priorities, and find clarity. Unlike the frenetic pace of busyness, stillness cultivates inner peace, enabling individuals to connect with themselves and their surroundings on a deeper level. The Buddhist tradition emphasizes mindfulness as a way to navigate life with intention and awareness. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, observing thoughts and feelings without judgment. This practice contrasts sharply with the mindset of perpetual busyness, which often pulls individuals away from the present. Slowing down allows for a richer experience of life. The Buddhist concept of being versus doing underscores the importance of balancing action with reflection. For example, mindful breathing exercises encourage individuals to pause and tune into their inner state. This simple act of awareness can bring a sense of calm and clarity, even amidst a hectic day. Moreover, mindfulness helps break the illusion that busyness equates to productivity. In truth, a cluttered schedule often masks inefficiencies and distractions. By cultivating a mindful approach, individuals can identify what truly matters, prioritize effectively, and engage more meaningfully with their tasks. Consider the story of Mia, a high-achieving professional who prided herself on staying busy. Her calendar was packed with meetings, projects, and social commitments, leaving little time for herself. Despite her accomplishments, she often felt an underlying sense of emptiness. One day, a friend invited her to a weekend meditation retreat. Reluctantly, Mia agreed. At first, the silence and lack of activity were uncomfortable. She resisted the stillness, her mind racing with thoughts of tasks left undone. But as the days passed, she began to embrace the quiet. For the first time in years, she noticed the sound of birds chirping, the warmth of the sun on her skin, and the simple joy of being present. This experience was transformative. Mia realized that her constant busyness had numbed her to life's small pleasures. By incorporating moments of stillness into her routine, she rediscovered a sense of balance and happiness. Her productivity didn't decline. Instead, she became more focused and intentional, achieving more with less effort. To break free from the cycle of perpetual busyness, consider the following steps. 1. Schedule downtime. Just as you plan meetings and appointments, intentionally block time for rest and reflection. Treat this time as sacred and non-negotiable. 2. Practice mindfulness. Incorporate mindfulness exercises into your daily routine. Start with a few minutes of deep breathing or meditation each morning to set a calm and focused tone for the day. 3. Prioritize what matters. Evaluate your commitments and identify activities that align with your core values. Let go of tasks that don't contribute to your long-term goals. 4. Create a stop doing list. Instead of adding more to your plate, create a list of things to stop doing. This could include unnecessary meetings, mindless scrolling on social media, or saying yes to every request. 5. Find joy in simple activities. Engage in activities that bring you joy and allow for reflection, such as walking in nature, journaling, or enjoying a cup of tea without distractions. 6. Set boundaries. Learn to say no to demands that don't serve your well-being. Protect your time and energy for what truly matters. 7. Reflect regularly. Take time to reflect on your experiences and growth. Consider keeping a journal to document moments of stillness and insights gained from slowing down. While staying busy can bring a sense of purpose, it's essential to balance action with rest. Embracing stillness and mindfulness doesn't mean abandoning ambition. Rather, it's about approaching life with greater awareness and intentionality. By weaving moments of quiet into the fabric of daily life, individuals can unlock deeper levels of clarity, creativity, and joy. Ultimately, it's not about doing more, but about living more fully. Rule 5. Never show weakness. Why it stops working. The belief that one must never show weakness often stems from a desire to protect oneself, maintain control, or project strength to others. However, over time, this rigid approach tends to falter. Life is unpredictable, and human beings are inherently vulnerable, physically, emotionally, and socially. The rule of never showing weakness creates a facade that may protect temporarily, but often leads to isolation, that's this misunderstanding and emotional fatigue. One of the primary reasons this rule stops working is that vulnerability is an essential part of forming genuine connections. When we suppress our weaknesses, we inadvertently push others away. Vulnerability fosters trust and intimacy by allowing others to see our humanity. When we share our struggles, others feel invited to do the same, creating a deeper bond. Moreover, aging often brings about an increased reliance on others. Physical strength may diminish, cognitive abilities may wane, and circumstances may force us to seek support. The refusal to acknowledge weakness becomes increasingly impractical and counterproductive as these realities set in. Pretending to be self-sufficient at all times not only isolates us, but also denies others the opportunity to care for us, a fundamental aspect of meaningful relationships. Buddhist teachings, particularly the concept of paticca samuppada, dependent origination, emphasize the interconnectedness of all life. This principle reveals that no being exists independently. We are all part of a web of interdependence. From the food we eat to the air we breathe, our existence relies on countless factors outside ourselves. This insight challenges the notion of self-reliance as the ultimate strength. Instead, it invites us to see vulnerability as a natural and even necessary part of life. Acknowledging our dependence on others aligns with the Buddhist path of wisdom and compassion. By embracing interdependence, we can let go of the ego-driven need to appear invulnerable and instead cultivate a sense of unity with others. For example, consider a tree in a forest. While it stands tall and appears independent, it relies on the soil, sunlight, water, and surrounding ecosystem to thrive. Similarly, human beings are part of an intricate network of relationships and systems that sustain us. Recognizing this reality helps us approach life with humility and gratitude. rather than fear of showing weakness. To illustrate the power of vulnerability, let's explore the story of Mia, a corporate executive who prided herself on being tough and self reliant. For years, she believed that showing any sign of struggle would undermine her authority. However, when she was diagnosed with a serious illness, her world changed. At first, Mia tried to maintain her usual composure, keeping her condition a secret from her colleagues and even her closest friends. But as her treatments progressed and the physical toll became undeniable, she had no choice but to open up. She shared her journey with her team, admitting her fears and uncertainties. To her surprise, this act of vulnerability didn't weaken her leadership, it strengthened it. Her team rallied around her, offering support, encouragement, and even practical assistance. In revealing her humanity, Mia inspired others to do the same, creating a more empathetic and collaborative workplace. Mia's experience underscores an important truth. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is courage. It takes strength to admit when we need help, to share our struggles, and to invite others into our lives. Far from diminishing us, vulnerability enriches our relationships and fosters resilience. Advice: cultivating openness and asking for help. 1. Recognize vulnerability as strength. Start by reframing your perception of vulnerability. Understand that sharing your struggles is not a sign of failure, but a mark of authenticity and courage. Remind yourself that everyone experiences challenges and that opening up about them can pave the way for deeper connections. 2. Practice small acts of openness. Begin with small steps. Share a minor worry or ask for advice on a simple issue. Notice how others respond. Over time, you'll build confidence in your ability to be open without fear of judgment. 3. Seek support networks. Surround yourself with people who value honesty and empathy. This could be friends, family, or support groups. Knowing you have a safe space to share your feelings can make it easier to embrace vulnerability. 4. Reflect on interdependence. Take time to observe how interconnected life is. Acknowledge the support you receive from others, whether it's emotional encouragement, professional collaboration, or the simple acts of kindness from strangers. Use this awareness to let go of the need for complete self-reliance. 5. Model vulnerability for others. If you're in a leadership or mentorship role, remember that your openness can set an example for others. By showing that it's okay to admit struggles, you create a culture of trust and collaboration. 6. Embrace the Buddhist perspective. Meditate on the concept of interdependence. Reflect on how every aspect of your life is connected to others. Use this practice to cultivate gratitude and a sense of unity, which can help you see vulnerability as a natural part of existence. 7. Ask for help when needed. Recognize when you're struggling and need assistance. Whether it's seeking advice, delegating tasks, or simply asking for emotional support, remember that reaching out is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. 8. Celebrate stories of vulnerability. Surround yourself with stories, books, or talks that highlight the power of vulnerability. Learning from others' experiences can inspire you to embrace your own. The rule of never showing weakness is deeply ingrained in many cultures and individuals. However, as we grow and face life's complexities, this approach often proves limiting and isolating. By embracing vulnerability, we unlock the potential for deeper connections, greater resilience, and a more fulfilling life. Rather than hiding our weaknesses, we can choose to see them as opportunities for growth and connection. Through the wisdom of interdependence, the courage of openness, and the humility to ask for help, we can transform our lives and relationships. Remember, strength is not the absence of vulnerability. It is the willingness to face it with grace and courage. Rule 6. Your worth is defined by your achievements. Why it stops working. The notion that our worth is solely defined by achievements can feel empowering during our younger years. We're often encouraged to build resumes, earn accolades, and climb ladders, all visible markers of success. Yet, as life unfolds, this mindset begins to show its limitations. Achievements, however grand, are not permanent. A celebrated career might end. Trophies gather dust. Even public recognition fades with time. When our self-worth is tethered exclusively to accomplishments, we risk feeling lost when those accomplishments no longer define our daily lives. This is particularly evident during transitional periods, such as retirement, career changes, or personal crises. If our identity has been shaped solely by what we've achieved, we may struggle to find value in ourselves when those achievements are no longer relevant. Moreover, relationships and inner peace often hold more enduring value. While achievements can bring pride, they rarely offer the deep emotional nourishment that comes from meaningful connections or self understanding. People rarely reminisce about the awards they've won in their final days. Instead, they reflect on love, memories, and personal growth. In Buddhism, the concept of non attachment offers a powerful counterpoint to the achievement centered view of self worth. Non attachment doesn't mean indifference or passivity, but rather an understanding that clinging to impermanent things, whether they be achievements, possessions, or status, inevitably leads to suffering. The Buddhist teaching of anicca, impermanence, reminds us that all things, including success, are transient. Thus, tying our worth to external markers is like anchoring a boat to a drifting log. Instead, Buddhism emphasizes inner growth and the cultivation of qualities like compassion, wisdom, and mindfulness. These qualities are not subject to the ebb and flow of external circumstances. For example, someone who practices loving kindness, metta, radiates a sense of peace and generosity that enriches not only their life but also the lives of others. Unlike a gold medal or a job title, inner growth is enduring and profoundly fulfilling. This perspective encourages us to focus on the process rather than the outcome. Success becomes less about the accolades we earn and more about how we've grown and contributed along the way. In this light, our worth is not defined by achievements, but by our capacity to live authentically and align with our deepest values. Consider the story of Emma, a high-achieving professional who spent decades building her career. She'd earned numerous awards, enjoyed a stellar reputation in her industry, and felt immense pride in her accomplishments. Yet, when she retired, Emma found herself grappling with an unexpected void. Without her job, she felt aimless and unimportant. Her worth, she realized, had been tied to her professional identity. In her search for meaning, Emma joined a community center where she began mentoring young adults. Initially, she approached this as another opportunity to achieve, to be the best mentor, to help the most people. But over time, Emma's mindset shifted. She found joy not in measurable successes, but in the simple act of listening and guiding others. She discovered that her worth wasn't tied to her career achievements, but to the wisdom, kindness, and presence she could offer to others. Emma's story illustrates that redefining worth requires a shift from external validation to internal fulfillment. Advice: focus on legacy, wisdom sharing, and personal fulfillment. Build a legacy beyond achievements. A legacy isn't about trophies or titles. It's about the impact you leave on others. Focus on how you've contributed to the lives of those around you. Have you inspired someone? Have you supported a friend or a family member in need? The ripples of kindness and generosity create a legacy far more enduring than any material accomplishment. 2. Share your wisdom. As you accumulate experiences, share them with others. Whether through teaching, mentoring, writing, or storytelling, your insights can guide and inspire future generations. Wisdom, unlike achievements, is not something that fades. It grows richer when passed on. 3. Cultivate personal fulfillment. Explore pursuits that bring you joy and align with your values. This could be creative endeavors, volunteering, or simply spending time with loved ones. Focus on activities that nourish your soul rather than inflate your ego. 4. Practice gratitude and presence. Shift your focus from what's next to what's now. Gratitude for the present moment helps you appreciate life's intrinsic value, independent of accomplishments. Mindfulness practices, like meditation or journaling, can deepen your connection to the here and now. 5. Embrace relationships. Achievements can't hug you when you're down, but loved ones can. Invest time and energy into building strong, supportive relationships. These connections provide a source of meaning and joy that no accolade can replace. 6. Let go of comparisons. It's easy to measure ourselves against others, but this often leads to dissatisfaction. Instead, focus on your unique journey and the growth it has fostered. Remember that everyone's path is different, and worth cannot be universally quantified. The belief that our worth is defined by our achievements may drive us to excel, but it ultimately limits our understanding of what it means to live a meaningful life. By embracing non attachment, focusing on inner growth, and prioritizing relationships and fulfillment, we can redefine our sense of worth in ways that are both enduring and deeply satisfying. In the end, it's not about how much we've achieved, but how well we've lived. In this journey, we've explored 6 outdated life rules that no longer serve us in today's fast paced world. From the misconception that busyness equates to productivity, to the rigid belief that success is defined by external milestones, these rules often lead to stress and dissatisfaction. Instead, we've introduced alternative approaches rooted in mindfulness, compassion, and self awareness. Embracing simplicity over excess, connection over competition, and purpose over superficial achievements can profoundly transform our lives. The teachings of Buddhist mindfulness remind us to be present, let go of attachments, and embrace impermanence. These timeless principles encourage us to approach life with a calm mind and an open heart, paving the way for true contentment. By replacing outdated rules with mindful practices, we create space for joy, growth, and a deeper connection with ourselves and others. When was the last time you truly felt at peace? Imagine the relief of letting go of the constant pressure to conform to societal expectations. Picture yourself choosing a path that aligns with your values, where each step is taken with intention and care. These changes aren't just about adopting new habits, they're about reclaiming your freedom to live authentically. Let me share a story that illustrates this transformation. A friend once shared how they were caught in the relentless pursuit of success, measuring their worth by promotions and accolades. It wasn't until they experienced a quiet weekend retreat that they realized how disconnected they had become from their own well-being. Embracing mindfulness, they began to redefine success as inner peace and meaningful relationships. Today, they live with a sense of balance and gratitude that seemed unattainable before. This journey isn't exclusive to them. It's available to all of us. As we reflect on these outdated rules and their mindful alternatives, I encourage you to examine your own beliefs and habits. What rules are you living by that no longer serve you? What new principles could lead you to a more fulfilling life? Remember, it's never too late to rewrite your rules for a more fulfilling life. The path to joy and peace begins with a single mindful step. Start small, stay consistent, and allow yourself the grace to grow. If you found these insights helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Buddhist Mindfulness. Together, we can continue this journey of wisdom and peace.